Ladies, gentlemen, Brett Gallagher. Good morning. If you know anything about my parents, you know that they're crazy. My mother grew up in the South, learned some traditional Southern manners, and went to Catholic school. My father is somewhat of a perfectionist, likes to get things done, and doesn't mess around. So as you can imagine, they don't leave much room for typical teenage shenanigans. In fact, for as long as I can remember, my father has been pushing me to do better. Whether it was making sure that I took the most challenging courses, or questioning me on why I was racing in the B boat instead of the A boat. Good enough never pleased him. Many times this bothered me. For most of my life, I was content with just good enough, even if my parents weren't. This sometimes led to me being caught between my parents' desires and my own expectations. For example, I started my sophomore year taking Mr. Grogan's Honors Algebra 2. However, it wasn't enough for my father. He insisted that I should be taking the accelerated honors course. I was never a fan of this idea, but I didn't advocate for myself, and the switch was made. I finished the year with a less than stellar grade, and neither my parents nor I were happy. Even more than school, my dad has pushed me to become an Eagle Scout. I've been working towards being an Eagle Scout for about 4 years now, and many times I thought that maybe all the work just wasn't worth it. But my dad never let me quit. Last week I completed the last requirement, and all I have left is paperwork. I'm closer to being Eagle than most other Scouts will ever be. These two stories show how sometimes my dad is wrong, and sometimes he's right. I've gotten into many an argument about my father, about our conflicting views. What I've realized is, he cares about my future, while many times I'm focused on my present. Believe it or not, my father does have a better idea of what's best for me than I do. Could I have done a better job in accelerated math if I just admitted that maybe my dad was right? Probably. If my dad never pushed me to succeed, would I ever be this close to being an Eagle Scout? Definitely not. What I've realized is that my dad puts my interests first, and that makes my dad my best friend. He always acts on my behalf and tries to get me to do the same. But why should you care about the relationship that I have with my dad? Because this isn't exclusive to my dad and me. This is something that everyone can experience. Just remember that your parents were in the same spot you were in once, and they just want to help you. With all the struggles that I've had with my father, and there's been a lot, I've become a better person. Because he pushed me, I became experienced. Experience taught me how to see the world through other people's eyes. I saw myself as good enough. My dad saw something better. Thank you.